Hello, my name is Krisztian and I am the founder and owner of the Holistic SEO and Digital. In this video, we will be talking about the business-to-business SEO, and we will try to understand how we can actually leverage the, let's say, the consumer type of queries or direct-to-consumer type of queries to rank higher for also the B2B market-related queries too. And there are many strategies or there are many methodologies for B2B marketing. We will be touching onto these type of things, and I will be giving you some suggestions while you are actually choosing your own agency or creating your own strategy. For example, sometimes the even in-house marketers or the agency marketers they focus on too much for this persona creation type of things or to understand the key decision makers. But to be honest, in B2B marketing, most of the time the conversion funnels are really complex and really complicated, and when it comes to doing it for SEO or with the SEO, you really have to be an expert for the topic, and you will need to have high level of EAT and a really strong thought leadership. So most probably when I publish this SEO case study, you will see there is a kind of censorship around because there is an NDA for this specific website, which means that I will need to hide the name of the website. But our industry is actually a heavy metallurgy industry, including laser cutting or 3D printing or any kinds of thing that actually you can think of related to the heavy machinery. It is included in this specific website. We will be also talking about gift industry in terms of B2B marketing. We will also be talking about pool construction again in terms of B2B marketing too. I actually published these 3 websites in Lexical Relations SEO case study, and if I can show it to you, it is actually just in this area. And the website that you just see in this section, this is the a section from the NDA, so I am not able to show it because company is also from Nasdaq, and of course when you have an NDA you can't of course show it, but at the same time there are other bigger projects that are coming. So in this case, this time try to focus on the methodology rather than going and examining the website. And I have to be a little bit more careful while serving these things, because when I realized that when I was doing my own beta testing, the beta tester that came from United States to my city, Istanbul, for just for the future semantic SEO courses beta testing process, he told me that he was able to find this specific website actually that I have presented in this area. Maybe I can show it to you quickly. If you remember this specific web case study in this area, so I actually didn't explain the name of this website too, but some of you you found it, and the specific person told me that he even counted the articles, checked the articles and publication frequency, then he was sure that it was that specific website, and I was surprised to see that. And I also told in this video that this specific website actually will be losing the rankings, but it didn't. The main reason for that is actually the website was able to win the core algorithm update. It means that until next time or the next core algorithm update, it will be really good. And since now it actually gathered enough level of historical data, again, there's a high chance that actually it will continue to rank in this way too. Because usually when you stop publishing new articles and if you keep your source really static for a long time, you'll lose the traffic. That's why actually in most of these videos we explain these concepts too, like search engine trust and historical data. If you watch this, you will be getting that concept. If you watch this, you will be getting the concept or importance of the expertise at the same time. So when it comes to the beta testing, it has taken 16 hours, and some of you tell me that actually just publish and launch the course. We just want to see it. I would like to launch it because at the end of the day, I will be making money. But still, if I didn't launch it, not just because I want you to wait, because if I just launch it, as 2 of the beta testers tell me that, probably a majority of the market won't get it, because I was talking about Topical authority in 2019 too, and people were calling it gibberish, and they loved it. Now everyone talks about it, right? And there are these type of concepts in the course as parts of the Topical authority methodology and strategy in the context of semantic SEO. So that's why I need to train you and consider these videos as a pre-training, because we will need to speak the same language to be able to understand the semantic SEO. Because semantic SEO, basically, it is not like take this from here, get this tool, put this here, take this export, change this. It's not like that. You need to create a strictly focused, straight contextual vector and also thought stream in your brain. Even if you actually talk with a ChatGPT, you can see that the machine there, they are really good for keeping the context, because Even while I was chatting with the Bill Slawski, he even told me many times that the main problem with the dialogue systems is that the humans, they lose context, but machines don't. Since we lose the context while jumping from thought to thought, it is hard for machines to relate things there. But when we look at the ChatGPT, actually, it is able to keep 892 tokens in his memory, which means that even if you actually write something else after 8,000 words at somewhere, they're able to relate these specific word to the 8,000 before word for a certain context, and they're able to create a proper contextual flow there. And this is what the semantic SEO is actually. You can even realize there that the machine is actually helping you to keep the context closed for this specific search query. This is also about actually search session borders or search context, like browser context, tab context, or other types of contexts. Anyway, this was the feedback there. Maybe you already have read. Beta testing was successful, so which means that I'm able to teach it in a proper way. They get it. They are able to repeat the process. They are really happy, and they also, both of them told me that they didn't see something like before. They also understand now why using AI or why using automation is not a solution against the methodology that I created. It requires way much more thinking, but don't worry. The version that I am creating right now, it will be linear, it will be simple, it will create the fundamentals and the basics with conceptualizations and the basic methodologies and the rule sets and the decision tree. So it will be giving you a really good bridge. One more thing that the person actually said me to is that I made the patterns really clear for him. He said it because before that they were really blurry. Probably he is also watching this video. I have hidden his name because the reason is obvious there. Once we get the course, which is soon, then you can ask as much as question as you want to these two lovely people. In total, for now, I have taken a few beta testers, but these are face-to-face, which means that they came from like 20 hours of journey just to this city for learning. And when it comes to the others, they are really good people that I trust from my past. One of them also came to my house actually like last year. And these people also helped me to transfer my thoughts to the more structured way that the people also can get. If you want to be inside the waitlist, please subscribe to this newsletter. The first issue of the newsletter will be the course. You will be getting the link and you'll be registering yourself. And then also we will be creating a community and you will request to join to the community because believe me, you will need to ask questions, you will need to cooperate, you will need to interpret things as multiple people. So anyway, if you return to the case study in this area, the increase here is actually really good and really well. And this is what actually I call as the positive ranking state. Even if I don't optimize the website, it will continue to actually increase its rankings until the next core algorithm update. And as you see, even if we continue to publish the content or the document for a while, the website actually was in the negative state. Then it became naturalized and then actually it continued to increase overall. The publication frequency and always increasing the quality difference between the previous content and the next content. Imagine that you always publish, you also publish higher quality content. As I say, if you check this article, it really explains these things. I already actually have written this case study, let's say in OnCrawl, the importance of the quality thresholds. Here actually I explain the relative quality threshold concept, because if you stop publishing or if you don't publish same level of quality content again, the website actually can continue to lose traffic one more time. There are bad and good samples here to explain these things. Please check them. One more thing is that lately I am a little bit angry to the Google. That's why I am publishing many spammy projects from my life too, because I don't register these type of websites to my Google Search Console. And yes, as you already know, in all the videos I say that in a way I love the Black Hat SEO. No one can lie about it. I don't want to lie about it. Most of the time in the SEO industry, people are actually scared of telling these things because Joe Miller won't be talking to them. To be honest, I love him. I love the Joe Miller or other Google search relation teams, but they are not good at covering these bad things. And there are websites right now like taking 30 million clicks in 4 months. And me and also some other people, we also create these type of websites too. And it is done with the AI. And soon these type of things will be actually really regular. And here actually I have shared one more time. Please read this article. This article already explains anything that you can need in terms of the fighting against the AI generated content or making the AI generated content better, very much better with a brand identity or with an author identity. You can really label your content with your expressions. Even the search engines, they can actually understand your personality just by looking at your content, which means that if everyone uses the same AI, which means that no one is different. And it is a dangerous thing for pair-wise relevance algorithms. And right now, actually, Google doesn't use a pair-wise relevance algorithms, but still, these type of ranking methods, it should be known by you. But after the TensorFlow and T5, they actually changed their methodologies, but still, it just affects the speed of the iteration and cost of the iteration. The point is still same. If you check these concepts, you will get what I mean, or it can be another video one day. So I know that this is a long intro by giving many information, and now let's dive into the topic and the past of these websites. I hope I can manage to blur these areas because I don't want to pay millions of dollars because of a silly mistake. One more thing here is that please check these sections too, okay? Sometimes, as you see, website actually doesn't continue to lose the earn the traffic, and sometimes it comes back. This is what actually I call initial ranking and the re-ranking. The search engine always will be making these type of tests. It won't be increasing always, see? 1 week actually it decreases, or 2 weeks it decreases, then it increases again, time by time. This shows actually satisfaction of the user, and the search engine starts to trust the consistency of the website because these are low consistency. And one of the things that they can do is actually changing the thresholds, because there are two ways for exceeding these thresholds. One is momentum, the other one is vastness. I explain these concepts like deepness, vastness, and the momentum. In other words, you will go broad, or you will go deep, or you will go fast. And if you are able to do all of them without AI and really big teams, right? But let's say you are able to do all of them, then you can rule the web. So this is the first project here. This is the second one here. As you know, I already published this. This is the gift story one. It continues to increase its rankings as well, especially after the helpful content update. And at the moment, there is a link spam update too. But don't dive in the page rank here because this website registered to the Microsoft Search Console. This one here, as you see, it loses the traffic a little because we stopped publishing the article here, and this is not an active project anymore. So which means that slowly it can continue to lose the traffic, and it can have a kind of breakdown point. But once we continue to publish and to fix the previous problems and other things, even if it's just for the full construction business, it continues to increase its rankings as well. So one more thing here is that the SEO consultants, they have hard time because of the lack of the really good SEO culture inside the companies. One of my purposes here is changing the SEO culture and helping the consultants. If you really have hard time for convincing your clients, you can show them the video that actually I have created in one of the here. This one here, actually, it explains how I lost all this traffic. Then just by waiting, I actually increase the traffic again like 500%. So waiting is one, and showing the patience and being sure about your content network and its quality is one of the keys for SEO. Even if you optimize everything here, you might not be able to increase the traffic. It doesn't show that you are actually doing something wrong. Do not lose your confidence and the hope. Explain these things to your client, also to yourself. And these are exact proofs here that actually, even if you do everything wrong, everything true or good, still you can lose the traffic. I have also seen the cases that one agency actually does everything here, then the client is not happy, changes the agency, then the traffic increases, then the client thinks that actually the next agency is really good, that's why. No, it's because actually this increase is coming from here. Your current state for these graphics, the current state in this area, it is actually coming from the things that we have done in this area. If we lose the traffic at here, it is coming from here. So it is like actually driving a ship. So after these long explanations, let's start a little bit the education. Then we will be seeing the case study that I have written, which is also in this area, actually, B2B SEO case study. I will publishing this case study with you. 3 websites are already located here. All the possible methodologies, the researches, and the necessary steps here, they are explained for taking even advantage of the image optimization, news or authorship or other types of authority verticals, and the types, or also technical SEO too, because you will see that technical SEO of these websites are not good at all due to the different things. And at the same time, I am not able to update these case studies all the time. I don't have time because even lately I am giving really long I tell everyone that actually after the course launch I can deal with these things, so it's my priority here. But since I couldn't publish the specific case study here, you can see how the traffic actually increases this specific website, and like there is 1 month between these and this, and there is only like 1 week between these and 1 week between these and these. So it is really increasing in a really good way right now, and these are the SEMrush and Ahrefs graphics in this area. So with that said, we will be coming here. This will be a long video and it will be a training. You don't need to finish all of them at once, but I will suggest you to come back because I will be giving practical things and research papers, and these research papers will be helping you to understand Google and how you can actually create the expertise. The first research paper here is coming from the Odin. It is, the name here is Finding and Mapping Expertise Automatically Using the Corporate Data. So this one here is important because this one here gives some methodological explanations to find really good experts based on knowledge difference, and also how the specific search process actually can be done, and how the expertise is actually showed with the knowledge management or competency of on that area as well. And here, the main purpose of this research paper is actually helping the companies to find the real experts for their own domains, and how the stop words or how that specific modeling actually works in this area, how the index can be actually inversed, or the index results, how they can actually be ranked and placed into the specific constructed result page. And here, definition of the expertise, sources for certain expertise evidence, or how the expertise should be actually presented, or how to validate the expertise. These things actually here, they are explained directly. Probably I will be putting these links also into the comment section, but you can directly find these things as well. And indications of the expertise here, they are really explained in a well way. And when you look at the search engine optimization related patterns, you will see that actually research papers and the patterns, they continue with a kind of, let's say, correlation. And this one here, it is important because this one here actually, it cites as someone really important, which is the Krisztian Balog. He is actually writer or author of the entity-oriented search. And here actually also he explained that he is training the first, let's say, new or baby Google engineers for understanding the entity-oriented search. He is training them. And it means that actually he is a kind of bridge between the expert engineers and the newbie or new engineers. And in this case here, if you check the information retrieval section here and how the expertise finder or expertise finding algorithms can be actually structured, there you can actually get really good hints here. One of them is actually unique vocabulary. Usually experts, they use more unique words, or also they use unique engrams and the phrase sequences that are not seen before, which is something really different from what the AI does. AI can't create uniqueness. They just repeat what they have seen before based on your prompt or your input. And at the same time, there are some research case studies here. You can check it by yourself. No need for showing all the results in this area because we have many resources here. But when you read a special definitional parts of these things, even if you don't finish all the specific areas or all the specific things in this section, you will realize one of the things here that the specific, for understanding the expertise for a topic, the first thing that you have to get it is actually finding the borders of the topic, where a topic starts, where a topic ends. If you are able to divide or create these type of differences or borders between the topics, then actually locating the expert is easier, because usually the phrases between topics, they change. The theme of these topics are different from each other, and usually experts, they stay on a single topic. So that's why expertise extraction, let's say, it also goes easier too. And with that said, in this area, as I say, the Google Auto Rank, this is something that really will be helping to you actually see all these things from the search engine's point of view. There are many patterns and research papers from Google's point of view. It is really explained in a well way. And here the Google Quality Rater Guideline, even they actually tell that the main content creator and the website are two things, and the quality of these things are coming from the reputation. Reputation of the website, reputation of the main content creator or creator of the main content, they're actually aggregated together to be able to trust the document, which means that if you don't have a really good real world expertise that you can prove for really highly competitive niches is something really hard. Another thing is showing the expertise is having search demand for your brand. If no one searches you, if no one searches your name and also the brand name, it is also one of the bad things. In this research paper too, here actually, in this one, it is also explained too. For example, we have different types of queries here. The query 1, let's say, the query 2, and the query 3. Let's say they go like this. Brand, let's say, brand name and the topic name. And let's say the second query here, it goes like author name and the, let's say here, the topic name. And let's say the third one here goes like product name and the topic name. So in this case, one of the things that the search engine will be doing is actually understanding that this product belongs to this brand and this author is connected to this brand again, which means that all these things are actually connected to each other in terms of the entity-oriented search. If there are these type of queries that are shaped and searched together in a correlative way, and if there are enough level of document pages from different sources about this brand, this product, and this author, it is the most clear signal for the expertise, which means that you actually have to use the surround, or let me close this, it gives some hints, sorry. It actually gives you a kind of, let's say, a kind of clear signal for search engine that that specific thing is actually searched by different users with a different search journey, and it actually helps them to create construct different indices directly for you. So when it comes to here, again from Krisztian Balog, here we have a few more things, and one of these things here actually is about formal models for expert finding in expert enterprise corpora. This is the cited document in this one. Yes, when you do the research, focus on researcher or inventor and find who cites them and why. And here too, actually, there are some questions that we always ask, like who are the experts on X topic, or what does expert Y know, or what is the person known for? And here actually, again, this specific document here, it is actually an add-on to the previous one. But one of the things here is that instead of checking all the documents, this is specific research paper, they check only specific, not all of them, but they check the specific ones. And there they actually differentiate the documents from each other based on the context. Let's say you are mentioned by a magazine, and that magazine is not about your topic. If the source is not authority for your topic, which means that expertise can't be taken from that area. Let's say you are an expert for 3D printing. In this case, you should be mentioned by especially for this type of brands, or indirectly relevant brands for there. If you are getting another mention from a source that is outside of the link graph, is something dangerous. Let's say all these things are websites and they actually link each other, okay? And in this case, if these things are always link each other and they are similar to each other as well, if they also compete for the same queries, let's say, in this case, actually, the mentioning source shouldn't be out of the graph, or it shouldn't be distant too much. This distance here, if it is over the threshold, it will be a problem for you, which also explains how you should be building your PBNs as much as possible. And topicality in this case, it really matters, and recognition of entities also matters too. At the same time, you should create a kind of unique attributes for the topic that you are actually already a kind of expert. Let's say we talk about again here the 3D printing, okay? You should be bringing here an attribute that is not seen before. It doesn't have to be a query even, but imagine that there is a unique expression actually that you are giving. If you are able to connect this specific attribute to the existing attributes already, they will be extracting this information. And since you are the only one who tells that, it means that you are actually making your topic bigger than before. If it is bigger than before, and if you are the first one that actually mentions that, again, actually a kind of good signal for the expertise. I will be explaining the topical maps of these resources. Don't worry, and how I created it and what I have focused on. Then you can actually get these things better too. The centricity here, again, it explains actually that link graph example, or how to get the topicality or the central topics and central sources for that topic as well. This is a short research, by the way. You can directly read it. You don't need to focus on math that much, because, for instance, this smoothing methods is about math. Because usually some simple errors in the data, they might give score as 0 despite not. And then you will need to use some smoothing methods. If you check the difference between TF-IDF and BM225, you can understand the smoothing methodologies in a better way as well. When it comes to this one, this is a good patent again from the Google related to the B2B marketing, not directly but indirectly actually we can use it. Refining user input based on the original user input. Right now actually Google already uses this. Just yesterday actually Danny Sullivan actually has published a Google blog post about this by saying that exploring more for a topic by zooming out. Anything that you see for refinement at the top, they are actually coming from this area. And this is a good tool for actually calculating the semantic distance between different topics. And at the same time, it will be helping to you actually for creating, let's say, more contextual topical maps. But as I say, these things are not static. They are actually dynamic. And in this case, the similarity matrix here, actually, it tries to understand how the words are similar, how the query terms or query term order is similar from this topic to another one, and how the attributes between these things are actually matching each other. As you see, they check the web, they check the queries, then they check your behaviors, then they get a kind of similar word extractor, then they create a similarity matrix. When a word is similar to another word, while other words also occur around them. And it is actually helpful to understand overall, let's say, link campaigns a little bit better too, and also a little bit for understanding how these refinements are created too, why that specific refinement is there. In B2B SEO, it will be helpful for you because you can trigger and change these refinements based on your own markup too, because you are already located here. Web corpus also involves you, so you can affect it. It is also one of the ways of not imitating the SERP but changing the SERP. It's the way of being authority. If you just imitate, you will be telling search engine that the previous source that you rank, it is already telling the truth and it is already comprehensive and I am similar to them, so just rank me too. But they're already ranking them, so you are not needed on the SERP. Instead of giving more authority to the existing sources, you need to go beyond that. I will suggest you to check this. This one here, this is directly relevant to the actually my lexical and query semantics differences. Andrew Hook is someone that I frequently mention with the context of the browsable fact repository. And the query language means that actually how the queries should be parsed, how the queries actually should be understood. Based on the search behaviors or based on the specific words that appear inside the query as well. I have shown this pattern before too, so that's why I won't be staying on it that much. But if you check the query language, it tries to understand the words that can be placed between the query terms. Let's say you have a noun here, you have another noun here, which means that to the middle we will be getting a predicate, right? Or in this case, the first word will be an adjective, which means that the second one will be a noun. Then let's say we have a predicate in the query, then it means that actually we will need actually an adverb or a noun. According to these word compositionalities, they actually create all these patterns, and according to the repeating patterns, they actually create synthetic queries. Then they score the queries, then actually they find the query templates. Once you get the template of the query, you will be getting the document template, and it will be helpful for your B2B marketing as well. Here actually all these suggestions in terms of understanding the query language, it is also explaining the patterns of this specific, let's say this specific query language. And in this way, actually, without even checking the document, they can just get the data even from the queries, to be honest, or the change in the query search demand as well. So here there are some good examples to understand how these things actually work. For example, various generators act on facts to normalize attribute names and the values and delete the duplicate or the near duplicate facts, so an object does not have redundant information. For example, we might find on page that Britney Spears' birthday is blah blah blah, while on another page that her date of the birth is December 2 blah blah blah. Birthday and date of the birth might both be rewritten as birth date by one janitor, and then another janitor might notice that these dates are different forms of all the same date. Here actually they try to create, or they try to compress the knowledge or fact repository that they are creating, and at the same time At the same time, actually, they try to understand different facts about a single topic, because yes, the most repetitive one, most probably it will be true according to Google's judgment, which they use actually consensus for understanding the facts. But at the same time, they will need to use other candidate facts possibly inside their knowledge graph too. But you can even actually imagine that which one of these writing methodologies is better, and you can continue to use it. And sometimes they give these things in patterns, sometimes they give these things in their style guides as well. If you just read these things, believe me, you will be understanding the search engine in a way much better way, because once you get which attributes are used or can be used for which entity, then you can actually generate better questions for your own area as well. I won't be diving it here, but if you just check this document here, you will be getting how these things are used. Even here we talk about actually a little bit this object, because Matt Cass, he was trying to create a safe search algorithm by differentiating these object from other things. So I'm trying to skip this word due to the certain algorithms. But if you just understand how these queries are differentiated from each other in the context of let's say safe search, it will be easier for you. So this is important research. It is a research that actually validates the previous ones, because here we try to use the knowledge graph from information extraction and the retrieval point of view. And here we have many things like entity discovery, entity typing, entity setting, document filtering. If especially you come here, you will realize that based on entity occurrence on your web page, they can actually skip your page or use your page. But it is not just about stuffing all these entities directly inside your web page. This is also coming from Krisztian, by the way. That's why the book also is similar here. But my point here is that you should be actually focusing on a little bit relevance of these entities to each other, because many SEOs right now, they extract entities from a competitor page and they move the same entities to their own page. It doesn't mean that you will rank higher. You should understand that the distance between entities, the which attribute that you are using, with what order you are using, and what the query context is, what the entity context that you are using is important. For example, if you check the patent or the research paper of context-based person search, let's say here we have the Elvis Presley. I hope I'm writing it correctly, and this is the example from patent 2. And here, let's say we have someone else, let's say the X. The first thing that they will be checking that actually how many times Elvis and the X are mentioned together with this specific end word. Once they get it, then they will try to check that, for instance, does Elvis appear in title? Or does Elvis appear in title together with, let's say, the X? And then they will try to understand that how many times the, let's say, does X appear together with other Elvis related persons or people. Once they get all these contexts based on title occurrences or URL occurrences or other types of things, then they actually can understand that this specific entity for that document is central. So that's why between your title, first paragraph, headings, and also the flow of context or the queries or implied queries or rewritten queries, they should be in a harmony. And you can check this if you would like this research paper as well. And pattern extraction here, again, as I say, it is used a lot. So if we continue to here, this is also about the patterns, generating query answers. And dear Bill Slawski, he has written many things, as you know. And here I want to show you one thing: type constraint, temporal constraint, gender constraint, relationship constraint, singular plural constraint, unit of measure constraint, determinant constraint. All these things are used actually for understanding what kinds of a specific answer can be given for what kinds of a specific query. But to be able to understand the query, you should be understanding actually query language, which is explained in this area. To be able to understand the query language, at the same time, you will need to be able to understand how the search engine actually can use refinements to understand what the query actually means. And once you get it, then you can start to generate the answers. Once you start to get the answers for these queries or implied queries, then you will start to get actually what kinds of answer terms can be used for what kinds of questions and attributes, again, entity and date type of attributes. And usually, yes, they are using the same type of answers there. So this one here, it is also a good one too, because here you will be actually seeing that we have extracting answers from web pages, but for this extraction, we again actually have the browsable fact repository, and here attribute value extraction from semi-structured text. Semi-structured text is actually our blog posts, and they try to actually understand what kinds of entities are mentioned together or how they are used together. And a few times I have seen research papers that mentioning actually how they actually can scrape all the HTML tables that appear inside the web, and they get millions of HTML tables. Then they check the columns and row names, then they differentiate these things from each other. Once they differentiate these things from each other, then they get the context of the table and relations between the cells as well. And it is also the context of the new papers, but let's forget them for now. And if you check these two query intent templates, it will be helpful for you too. I can tell, because this one here in this specific section, actually it is connected to feature snippets, and as you see, dates are really old. And when it comes to my YouTube channel, we can skip it, and we can skip this one area too. So let's talk about a little bit the case studies itself in this section, because I will need to explain what kinds of a topical map that I have used. Then we will be talking about the latest last section of this specific video. Then we will be ending this area. So first of all, actually, if I show you this one here, the query semantics, if you watch this video for query semantics, you will understand that how you can actually tweak the meaning of a query from the search engine point of view. If you are able to tweak the specific query's meaning from search engine point of view, you will be able to rank higher, even if you don't have that much relevance, to be honest. So if I just close some of these things, let me just open this here. So let's say this one here is the query one, query one, and here we have, let's say, the document one. Here we also have the user one. So in this case, actually, the user's context and the query's context might be matching in this area, but there might be some other users actually that use the same type of query, imagine that they also use the same query, and this second type of user, or let's say this is a different user here, in this case, they can actually match with each other on a different section like this. And specific type of context signals might be different between these paths. And in this case, you will need to use these patterns in this path and patterns in this path together on your page. And you will need to reflect these things in a friendly way on your web page as well. For example, when it comes to that gift shopping website, it is actually trying to sell the gifts for bulk buyers. Like, imagine that you are buying, let's say, 500,000 gift products directly. The market target is actually there, but these type of people, they are so less. So how many people you know actually buys 500,000 gifts a day? I don't. So in this is the hard part of the B2B SEO, because usually the search engines, they cluster users like this based on their data amount, and usually consumers, they actually have the big majority of the user data. Since most of the users are consumers, the consumer type of intents and the queries, they are dominating these type of queries. And since also the B2B key decision makers, they know that if they use their own queries, they won't be getting that much relevant information. They also slightly same or exactly same queries directed to. Your job here is actually closing this gap between them by protecting the contextual connection to the consumer, and also being able to satisfy the B2B intents with simple design differences. For example, you can just add a kind of counter to your product page. You can tell that you can even buy actually 1 million of this specific product, and at the same time you can sell only one too. If you satisfy all of them at the same time, you'll be creating brand awareness too. It will be also helping you to reach out your B2B marketers at the same time as well. And most of the things that are written in this section, they already explain the low keyword search demand, which is a problem, as I say, from query and user clustering point of view. Conversion rate is really low, which means that the specific sale funnel is also really complicated. The legit online presence, years of experience signals, trust elements for industry, digital public relations, certificates and licenses, or of course the semantic content network. These are important. We define all these things one by one. I have written this article, but while I'm writing this, you can realize that how ChatGPT actually writes similar to do sometimes my own way, but as you can also realize that I use way much less words, that they use a little bit fluff in their text, to be honest. And here we actually explain what is the difference between these two and how they are connected to each other. Then I also talk about these persona type of things, but do not lose that much time about persona, target audience, or some other things in this area too, like conversion funnel. Of course, you have to design it in a careful way. But I have seen many agencies that spent like 3 months for creating some diagrams. You know, they just give a fake name to the representative person and they tell that there are 6-7 million people like this, and you can actually satisfy all these people by doing that, by doing this. Or let's say the name is just John. They tell that John doesn't like this, John likes this. I have been working in agencies for a long time in the past, and I know that how these things are fake. If you are hiring an agency, please do not spend your time for these persona types of things, because usually B2B decision makers, they can be anywhere and they are not that much crowded, and usually they just give the decisions actually like according to the theory of moment of truth. 6 months they might not be buying, for 6 months they might be stalling, then at the 7th month they suddenly buy. So there is not that much way of understanding why they are buying on that specific moment. Just be ready from every angle as much as you can be. When it comes to the actually helping your B2B client, it's not just about creating a content network or understanding the queries. You also have to understand there are some other constraints for conversion rate. For example, let's say your prices is good, your product is good, but let's say you don't have shipment. Sometimes from Turkey to the Mexico or Mexico, you have to ship like a product that is heavier than 10 tons. And you will need to find, let's say, a ship for it. You will need to find a captain for it. And also sometimes the other company from Mexico, they also want you to send your own employee to the Mexico, so that your own employee actually can set the product up, install all the software, and be sure that everything works perfectly. At the same time, there will be many expos in foreign countries for just showing really rare products. You will be surprised how the B2B market is actually colorful. And sometimes they even call you or they want you to watch the videos, and you have to, because if you are in the B2B industry, you have to understand the product in a really good way and the service constraints as well. So that's why while you are creating your content network, even if someone that searches that specific topic is just searching it for understanding what that thing is or buying a few of that, you will also need to be creating some sections for people that can buy from the same thing. As I say, 1 million samples they can buy, or you wanted to prepare some examples for shipping the same product or manufacturing tool of the product to the other side of the world. And you will need to put these things to do all of your attributes, to your Google business profile, to do your YouTube channel, to do your website, and also you will need to be ready for the topically related all the queries and the concepts and to define them as well. So there are some other sections here, and I can tell that the things that I have written these areas, like analyzing anchor text in this section, they are also unique too. It's not like check this. For example, try to create a harmony between your headings, titles, and anchor text. And at the same time, knowledge domain terms, they should be appearing inside your anchor text, even if they don't have that much search demand. At the same time here, matching the anchor text terms to the Google autocomplete suggestions for queries to see how the internal navigation of competitors and the Google's understanding of the search behaviors aligned with each other. Let's say you already have taken all the anchor tags from your competitor. Just check how many of them actually appear inside the Google auto suggestions too. If they appear, one of the ways of actually creating auto suggestions is just checking the anchor text. The another way of is actually checking the user behavior and how the query phrase taxonomies follow each other. And in this case, you can affect the suggestions, or you can understand which ones are really quality. And if you also use specific anchor tags directly inside your document, which means that probably you will need to focus on that specific knowledge domain from a different angle, which means that your topical map will be bigger, but also there will be gaps that you will need to close. And then you will need to close all these things by creating a network. And for extracting knowledge domain concepts and the experts, as I say, expert finding was something that we were talking about in the last 20 minutes already. And here, the concepts of information literacy, information quality, and information responsiveness, which is the name of the actual book that I will be publishing in the next year, You will need to actually get these concepts. Then actually you will need to collect all the specific unique words that belong to your own industry, or the unique meanings of the some other words. You will need to collect all the statistics, all the PPTX or PDF file. You will need to collect all the books or the book authors for your own industry, and you will need to gather these things together for pointing yourself to. And at the same time, your content production guide actually means that what kinds of a sentence structure you will be using and what kinds of authors you will be choosing. If you are in the B2B SEO, please use domain experts. Do not use that much AI. Do not use that much low level of expert people, because the case study that you have seen in that area from the NDA one, they are really expert. That's why I'm able to create really high level of detailed content briefs. And we can talk about biographies, or we can talk about really teeny tiny molecules or molecule differences, atomic values, molar mass of molecules, or we can explain which material is best for 3D printing, but why, or what is the possible heat for it, how it affects the cost, how it affects the duration of the production, or what kinds of prototypes are better for what kinds of materials or industries. Or if you are doing 3D printing for art or construction or medical usage or the automobile industry, how we can actually determine which atomic structure is better, which kinds of atomic bonds is better. It's up to you how you will be going deep, but you will be able to use these specific things as much as possible as you need. And that's why I try to focus on these things, okay? And you will need to reflect these things in different formats, as image, as audio, and also as text too. And I will be skipping this part for now because it is a really long topic. But when it comes to B2B SEO, there is not that much funnel. It happens, okay? It's like, and usually it doesn't happen via the website. It usually happens with the phone calls. It happens with the emails or the text messages. You can't expect a really big CEO to fill your form in your contact area, okay? It's like these people are managing like hundreds of millions of dollars. That's why they are in Nasdaq, or billions of dollars they are managing, and with their even a single mistake, thousands of people can lose their jobs. So they are stressful people, and do not expect them to just fill your form or make the purchase like in 2 weeks. It will take really good amount of deal and the talk and etc. And in this way, you will need to create, you will need to check other the candidates, and you will need to create a kind of loop of conversion with these possible, let's say, conversion steps. And when it comes to of course, the conversion steps, it's like even if you create the best possible step-by-step structure, some people will skip the middle part, or some people will come to the end part directly. Some of them will be giving up at the first step, then they will coming back. B2B marketing, it requires really good amount of nerves, and you will need to be having these nerves together with your also client. And the social media B2B marketing, usually it doesn't mean that it should be done via Twitter. It means that actually it will be done based on, let's say, the LinkedIn, or you can also use some certain types of marketing channels for your own industry. According to the industry, these things change. But when it comes to the medical industry, for instance, the consumers go to the Facebook groups, but when it comes to the tools that they are using or the machines that they are using in their hospitals or clinics, usually these people, they are actually gathering together in different types of groups too. Even there are some specific WhatsApp groups to chat quickly and understand which tool, how it works, or whether there is a new tool and whether you can get it actually with a discount, etc. And here too, we explain actually internal linking and anchor text optimization a little bit further. For instance, you can remove any kinds of word that you see like read more or click more. Just remove these things from your website. Use contextual anchor text. When it comes to the, I will suggest you to do not use more than 4 concepts in your anchor text. I am not telling 4 words, okay? 4 concepts. Do not put more than 4 concepts in your anchor text. When it comes to the limiting the amount of internal link, do not link everywhere from everywhere. It means that you don't link somewhere. Just use the links as much as possible, and it may then when they actually when they make sense, try to use them. Do not use internal links before explaining the definition of the concept. Give the context of the link before link actually appears or shows itself. And auditing the content expertise and the accuracy, this one here, it requires really good amount of expertise from your client, and that's why actually you will need really good expert to check whether that information is correct or not. But if you provide inaccurate answers, even if your content format is good, you won't be able to rank after a point, because they are able to understand whether you are giving accurate information or not by checking other sources or by checking their own knowledge graph. And also they are integrating databases like data commons or some other types of databases to their own systems. And even they have the Google Civic API. If you check Civic API here, for instance, it is created actually for politics, and they give any kinds of politician's name information on national, state, and local level, and they are taking this data from different types of databases. And voting information project, this is actually a project that is supported by the Democracy Works, and here they try to give actually any kinds of entity with certain types of attributes, and they also explain what kinds of queries appear for these type of people, and they try to give answer for these things. So that's why if you give the wrong information, believe me, they will be getting it. Improving relevancy, accuracy, and comprehensiveness always on. It means that always check your previous content, and also you can directly find, believe me, you can find some missing words between sentences. You can add other types of words. Sometimes even if you give the answer here, if the specifically relevant query term doesn't appear inside the heading or inside the first sentence, you can lose the relevance. So that's why always on, continue to optimize it. And I won't be talking about this, it's ordinary, and I'm not here for ordinary things. Omnichannel user retention, we can skip for now, but you can read these things. And when it comes to the digital PR, this is another art. But if you already have a knowledge graph existence, if your brand is already famous, it's always actually a good start point for your project. And when it comes to technical SEO related things, in my holistic SEO tutorial in my YouTube channel, I explain these things in a really good way. You can check it later too. And as I say, the metrics actually are way much better than this. Right now, I have written this for, I don't know, I couldn't publish it. But we have gained really good amount of queries on top 3 ranking, and also between 4 and 10, and also for between the 10 and the 100. And at the same time, the impressions and the clicks and the average position, they all increased in a really, really good way. And I am really happy to see this for this project as well. And in these sections, you can see other types of data, and you can read or understand how the image search changed, or why the mobile usability, or mobile core web vitals, or desktop even core web vitals, why they are not that much good. You can also check these specific websites and their detailed amount of explanations. As I say, there are 3 websites that are examined and written in a really detailed way or in this area, and I believe it will be useful for you too. You can check also crawl stats, response codes, redirections for these things. And this is a kind of summary part, to be honest, and then this specific article ends. I believe it will be your a kind of handbook for doing B2B SEO for different industries, and with unique information and real world naked data as well. So right now we will be talking about the sources in this area. Believe me, it won't be taking that much time because I will be quick. So Bill Slawski, I mention him a lot because whenever I actually find a new concept, I always give the citation to the people that actually has the original source. And as you say, the date here is 2014, and still actually the Bill Slawski, just like nearly 10 years ago, he was actually talking about the importance of the Amit Singhal or Elon here or the Craig here, and he is actually explaining many things here that you can find, like annotating the knowledge, or Google's browsable fact repository, which is coming from the Andrew Hook. I mentioned him in his video at the beginning while explaining the query language section. And here too, the example is same as you see. George Washington's Bush, the birth date, and Google's knowledge graph actually has been mentioned here. You can directly actually check these specific areas. These things these are not ordinary things. That's why I'm also telling that the latest SEO articles, they won't be able to teach you something. If you want to learn SEO, read the articles from like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, or 7 years ago. That's why when I actually also start and activate my newsletter, you will see that I am not giving you weekly improvements. I don't care about them that much, as long as they are really unique. But when it comes to these researches, like from 10 years ago, you will see many unique things, to be honest. And anyway, with that said, again from Bill Slawski, I will suggest you to check this hummingbird related specific section too, because in this area, the hummingbird and the entity relation, let's say. Here you will be getting actually how the hummingbird works, even if Google explained that it is not used anymore or it is integrated to this another system actually. But this query revision based on context and substitute rules, this is a really good research. You can also check it. And this is the first presentation of the Slawski in this area actually. And incompleteness of the knowledge graph, how Google actually can fight against it, or how they can fill these missing parts. Again, here actually, as you see, the WAVI and open information extraction has been mentioned. This is also another presentation from the Slawski. It explains the one boxes or answer boxes. Do you know what the one boxes are? Or answer boxes, they are featured snippets. Do you see the year here? 2007. In 2007, he was able to actually recognize these specific answer boxes. These are also explained as answer boxes too, by the way, in this case. And here you will be able to see many, again, useful information, structured data testing tool, etc. And you will see that this is from 2016. So you can also see how the SEO actually evolves. After a point, you will also understand that you shouldn't get hyped for every improvement. Detecting the brand penetration over geographic locations. This is about brand B2B SEO, because if your brand doesn't penetrate properly to a region or to a location, it means that it is a little bit problem and it will be hard for you to actually rank in that area. This here, image semantic content, it is used for understanding what kinds of land-based locations appear in your images so that they can understand where you are located or where you are searched from. Once they get these things, it will be very much easier for you actually or rank that specific region too. So you can use these type of things. If you target a specific area, you can come closer to these areas by processing them and representing them inside your visuals as well. And here also you can understand how the Google compare different brands to each other, like types of fast food stores, convenience stores, gas stations, grocery stores, pharmacies, or other types of things. Or let's say you are selling something to one of these brands, or sorry, the business types. Again, you will need to use these specific methodologies to actually give yourself a little bit better too. And here, reputation system for open collaboration. Actually, this is a mutual research from Google and also other places too, including Cloudflare, an old one by the way. But still, you can also use this specific one here to understand how the reputation of an entity can be created based on, let's say, users or based on the content. And in this section, there are different types of examples for different types of people, and the connections of entities are also given. And at the same time, different languages are used. Maybe you are reputable for a language, but not reputable for another language. And Google might even aggregate these type of things too. That's why usually today's SEO teams, they are small for the need of the search engine, let's say, perception methods. So map search recommendation system based on image content analysis driven geosemantic index. This is similar to what you have seen actually in this area, understanding brand penetration in this area. So you can even actually check that many things actually talk about nearly the same thing, but not from brand's point of view, let's say. And I already talked about this one. Let me just check. Yeah, the Forbes is always same. This time I will be skipping it, but it was actually a little bit an important example of article anyway. So predicting the site quality. This is an important pattern from Navneet Panda, because this one here, it actually explains. Navneet Panda, by the way, he is the person or he is the architect of the Panda algorithm update from 10 years ago, but still we talk about it. Basically, the Panda update here, it tells that, let's say we have a query, teacher, then we have the query teachers. If you open two different pages for both of these queries, which is a signal, direct signal for non-quality website, and they are using these type of things. That's why actually having that much passive content or the content that are shadowed in your website is dangerous. And at the same time, this is also about the semantic distance, because semantic distance from teacher to the teachers is not that much high. So you can't create two different pages, but there are situations that actually you are creating different pages for really close related things as well. And it is also a signal for a little bit non-quality. And here actually they explain how these things actually work. And also they use the word of, let's say, mapping from phrase specific relative frequency measures the phrase specific baseline site quality scores. The phrases here actually are represented inside the queries. And there are other types of repetitive models that they actually use. And this is a really good example and learning point to understand what the site quality actually means. And they also mention n-grams or some scoring methodologies or logic of computation here. Or you can directly read this specific claim section too. It will be helpful for you. Okay, the ranking the search results, again, it comes from Navneet Panda. As I say, most of the time you should be actually focusing on the specific inventor. In this one here too, it is relevant to the B2B marketing because most of the time, the most brands, they are not able to rank on the SERP because they are not able to prove that they are reputable or their website is actually really quality, or even if you are quality, you might be similar or associated or clustered together with the sites that are not quality at all. So in this case here too, receiving data, identifying a resource and initial score for the resource. You remember the initial score, which is coming from the initial ranking algorithms too. And at the same time, here we also see that resource-specific modification factor also exists. In other words, for every resource or every web page or every website that they see, they try to smooth the method that they are using. And if you just read some of these sections too, I believe it will be really or highly useful for you. You can even just check the diagrams like, is the query navigational to the resource? If yes, then they say set modification to not modify the initial score, which means that the query already looks for you, which means also a quality signal for you. It also means that they don't have to modify the query or your rankings there. Is the initial score for the resource below a first threshold? Let's say no. Then we go here, is the initial score for the resource below a second threshold? Then generate a first modification for the initial score. Then they create another kinds of, let's say, modification in this section. If the answer is no, generate a second modification. So basically, according to the nature of the query, or even if the terms inside the query are same, they create these type of things. So why this is important? This is important especially for the exact match domains. If you are using an exact match domain for a specific query, it means that actually you are matching a query with you, and you claim that the query is actually navigational, but the search engine might tell that no, it's not. So then they can actually demote you. This is actually what the search engine spokespersons also tell. They always tell that we found ways to demote the exact matching domains or keyword stuffed domains. And then actually these query and resource names or brand names are important. As you see, as you also know, the website name update, it happened like last month. They show the website name at the top, which means that it is the most important attribute for the resources itself. Site quality score, let me just check here. These things here, they are coming from a little bit the previous months here. Yeah, it's actually, this should be the different ones, sorry. But the inventor, as much as I can remember, same person, again, the Navneet Panda, and it is a continuation pattern actually. And Bill Slawski already has written this. If this is hard, most of these sections will be same with the previous one, by the way. Only some sections change. Even if you just check the different parts, it will be actually enough for you. So this is actually coming from another, let's say, brand, but still it is important. Learning concept templates from web images to the query personal image database. Of course, this is for your devices, but this concept template, it is something to worth for reading because it will be explaining you to the semantics and its importance for understanding these things. And as you already know, the Google Photos, they actually use this technology. They recognize your face, and based on your closeness to the person, based on your smiling or your mood on the photo, they just classify or the cluster photographs directly. And according to your latest other photographs, they understand which people are really important for you. And they can even actually name these people according to your contact list. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. But basically, they can understand and give you labels like coupled or some other types of labels also exist in this area to define you. Or let's say, define the relations between you based on your situation there. So this is from Google. It is important paper again. Establish your business details with Google. And here I need to mention the name of the Jason Barnard because he is the founder of the brand SERP and also the knowledge domain, knowledge panel management. I also have written some articles for these things. If you want, you can check them, because your brand SERP or brand SERP definition or these type of things, actually, they really matter. Here actually, Karaküp, and here I am. We can also read this one too. Basically here actually we try to explain how you can manage your brand SERP and how you can actually provide a knowledge panel management methodology in a better way. And here Karaküp already is a popular tool that is used, and you can check all these examples, by the way. It will be useful for you, what kinds of data can appear here, how you can actually manipulate or change these things in a way that you want. Because if a result appears in your brand name, it means that it is relevant to you. If the sentiment there or if the expressions there are not giving you an authority, it means that they are causing you to lose the authority. So as much as possible, create this type of data there, claim your knowledge panel. There are ways for doing that. And as you see here, Google already gives you some suggestions, like using site logo structured data or using breadcrumb structured data. And also, let's say, highlighting customer support methods. All these things actually help you to create these things. And yes, these specific NDA company already has this. Crowdsourcing user provided in identifiers. I already mentioned this before in the past, because this is about actually that user input refinement. Based on the user's behaviors, actually in this area, Google actually might or can change the specific, let's say, queries or the query inputs as well. Let's say determine one or more brand identities for a respective aggregate identity group. It means that they are actually grouping different brands with certain types of identities. These identity expressions, they might be like best SEO tools or list of SaaS for X, or it might be even the spying apps anyway, for different types of things, and or affiliate marketing programs it can be. And here, provide content related to the one or more brand identities to the users of the social network who have indicated a desire to receive brand-related content by subscribing to an identifier of the respective aggregate identity group. So imagine that whenever someone searches your brand name, it is a way of saying that actually I subscribe to this brand. Whenever actually someone shows his or her gratitude via your social media existence or via somewhere else, whenever Google actually indices or check the URLs inside these Twitter shares or Facebook shares, it is also a signal for authority again. In 2011 and 2012, I can tell that Facebook likes, or the Facebook comments and Facebook comment links, they were really using they were being used in a really good way for ranking purposes. Even if Google today tells that we didn't use it, I don't believe. So I will suggest you to check these type of understandings, because as you see here, social media accounts are directly here, which means that they are part of your website and your identity, and your performance for these areas also matter for SEO too. And inadequate search content, Metcalfe is here. As you know, I didn't say the word, but I said that Metcalfe was trying to create a safe search. Then they patented their methodologies because they were searching for bad words all day long on the Google to understand how people can actually structure their queries to find the bad adult content. Not bad actually, but let's say adult content. And in this case, they try to create this specific thing here by saying, let's say, retrieve statistics associated with the first. Then they say derive quality of the topic corpus or information retrieval score and associate with the current topic, they say. And then they say retrieve the next topic. So if we check the date here, 2007, they are talking about the topics. Next topic, they say, they get the topical relevance between the different topics and the corpuses for these topics. And if one of these things are actually, let's say, sensitive, it is a signal that the adjacent context will be sensitive too. And these query patterns, they can also be highly relevant for each other as well. Sorry for looking like this, but I have to. Anyway, let's continue. We are going with a good speed, don't worry. And these two here, sorry, they shouldn't be the same. Yeah, I just realized that how fast I am. Because I have to be quick, but I believe it should be continued. No, it's not. Citations are same. Sorry, probably I have opened it 2 times. So about knowledge panel management. If you are able to make yourself an entity, directly a brand entity inside the Google, you will be able to actually rank higher. it is something important too. And that's why actually you can directly try to create a knowledge panel for yourself. And these sections in this area, they are important, and specific changes that you can do here: featured image you can change, title you can change, subtitle of yourself you can change. For example, if I search for the Elon Musk, you will realize that now he is called, let me check the subtitle for him. And if you hear my cat Sherlock right now, sorry for that. He is trying to come inside, but I can't take him right now because he bites me. Anyway, I couldn't see the specific title for him, so I will try this guest window here. Maybe it will be easier. No, the Turkish one is also doesn't work properly. But the interesting thing here is that even if he has other types of profiles, right now we only see the Twitter. At the same time, he is called like Chief Executive Officer of the Twitter right now. So it shows that actually the subtitle of the Elon Musk at the moment, it is only the Twitter, and you see how the trend for his name is actually increasing. And most of this trend, the increase of this trend, it is coming from mainly the Twitter or Twitter related things. When we look at here, Twitter, not Twitter, in the title at least, Twitter here, Tesla here. So if you see that most of the time we see Twitter related things for actually Elon Musk. Here, sorry, I was looking at this wrong place because of my cat. Chief Executive Officer of Twitter. So this is the first subtitle, and it changed so quickly, and it is not done by hand because this knowledge panel here, it is not claimed. So which means that Google actually did it algorithmically. It happened because all these news mention him with the Twitter, which means that Twitter attribute for Elon Musk right now, it is the most important attribute, which also shows you if you are inside the B2B marketing or direct to consumer marketing, you have to focus on Twitter more, because in the entity-oriented search, this is the most important attribute right now. Even if you check the images, logos are here, and this is what the brand penetration is. Because this brand here, it penetrates through this entity already, so they are already intertwined together. That's why entire SERP here is recreated based on just the Twitter-related things, Twitter restructuring again, or other types of things. Even if we have the Instagram account here, it doesn't appear here because this one here already crushes nearly all of them. So you can use this type of Google behavior changes directly to understand the Google even further, and creating knowledge panel or understanding knowledge panels or registering yourself to the knowledge graph is really useful for you too. And I have written also Python, how to use Python API to check the Google Knowledge Graph. You can also check that article, but I have shown it many times from my website, but you can find it, I believe, with a quick search. So here, system and methods for detecting keyword stuff business titles. If you are in the B2B area, sometimes the businesses, since their conversion rate is low, they use this type of business names. And it might be a demoting thing because it's hard to convince searchers to search your name in that way. And as maybe I have shown this one before, because here we also have a Turkish person and as an inventor, Barış Yüksel. And at the same time, this surprisingly score, it is still used actually inside the Google Business Profile. It's not about stuffing the keyword only, but it's also about stuffing irrelevant things. Let's say I'm searching for the New York hotels, and then your business name is New York hotels, let's say refrigerator, or New York hotels ovens. The purpose there is actually selling the oven to the hotel, basically, but it's not a logical name. Because New York name, hotel name, and also the oven or refrigerator or climate, etc., they don't appear together that much inside the queries, or let's say as the business name. Google already is able to index and take the business names and also the website names with the latest update, which means that they can already understand which name represent a business name, which name doesn't represent a real business name. If you don't use a real business name or logical business name, it's really hard to convince Google to rank you for B2B market as well. When it comes to here, this one, correlating business information to determine spam, closed business, and ranking signals. So here too, I believe Barış is here too. And here actually we try to understand what kinds of business information can be used for you to understand whether your actually business rankings should be changed, whether you are doing spam or not. It is also about understanding where you are located really. They are able to check your even, let's say you have given the address of this building. They already know what other building is next to it and what another building is next to it or south of it. They also know how this street looks like. So basically they want to see your office pictures together with your face, together with you, so that that algorithm actually can prove that you are owner of the company, you are a legit business, and you are located there. In B2B marketing, I always put the pictures of the real office headquarters, their addresses, in a really clean way to the Google business profile and to the website and to the social media accounts and to the other places for reviews too. If you're able to show all these things in a correlating way, the correlating business information from multiple sources and verticals, they will understand, they will determine whether you are spamming or not. When it comes to SEO, be a little bit paranoid, because search engines are already paranoid. As you see, they are even checking in front of your window to see whether you are there or not. So go beyond the traditional SEO. Reverse engineering circumvention of spam detection algorithms. This is fun because basically they are actually trying to reverse engineer their own spam detection algorithm so that they can detect the spam. So it's like before you crack their algorithm, they crack it by themselves, then they can actually try to create another spam algorithm to get it. I put this thing here too because in B2B marketing we use a lot of backlinks and other types of things. As you know, lately I am actually angry to Google by saying that you might not recognize even if the people buy the links. But at the same time, we all know that sometimes they also detect them. And here, if you check the decision tree in this area, receive business listing to be included in a group of searchable listings. And this listing doesn't mean only the local business searches. As you know, in the product review updates too, we also have results like this product actually has been mentioned in 5 lists or 6 lists or 4 lists. So basically these things also matter here. Assign a spam score to listing. Vary the spam score, the first score, and the first threshold. Do not include or remove listing from group of searchable listing or remove it. Identify business listing as legitimate, then actually they end, or demote listing or flag listing for potential removal from the group of searchable listings. So this is also about one of the other patterns that I have shown before, like generated ranked entity list. If I search for the best SEO tools or the best SEOs or best SEO softwares, etc., these all things are labels for certain types of groupable entities. And once we group these entities, then we will be assigning reputation scores and also quality scores and spam scores. If you want to go to the top, you will need to have these search queries for yourself in an overall consistent process. You will need to be a topical authority for your industry, and you will need to be at the center of the link graph. And while doing all these things, of course, your business name or correlated information about your business address or your CEO or overall identity points, they all should be aligning with high level of trustworthiness. And here actually the methodology that they use actually in this area, or the tests that they are using, they're all trying to understand this system, even the devices that is connected to network and the devices that are making these searches, they're all relevant to this point of view. You can check the texts in this area. I believe it will be useful for you, like a spam score is assigned to the listing using a processor. Then while reading this, take this, like say a spam score processor. Then spam score indicates a likelihood that the listing is legitimate. The spam score is varied by adding noise to the spam score using the processor. The first score, to be able to assure that, they assume that you are not spam, which means that they will be doing some quality tests by ranking you or demoting you. Let's say they demoted you from a list. If it increases your brand search or if it increases your direct traffic, then you are good. Because if they don't rank me, it means that users search me by typing my name. So it means that I am not spam there. I am a real brand. And all these things actually work in that way. Soon I will be publishing actually a case study for a SaaS product. It might be including a site migration. I'm actually doing this too. I created a second website already. I am ranking it. I am linking both websites. Cross-canonical domains are used. I am basically telling that these two are the same and the brand names are actually related. And right now I already have the queries. Do not migrate websites directly like in a second. Be sure, I have seen really good samples. By saying good sample, I mean scientific samples that shows that actual traffic is lost. So the result is bad, but the sample is good to understand the concept. So I am tired a little bit. I will be quicker, I promise, but I can tell you that in 18 minutes, I have actually came from to here. So it's a good score, I believe. And maybe in the future, we can focus on these concepts deeply, and I can go and show you the most important parts of these patterns in a better way too. So this one here is actually from a different company, but still it will be showing you a little bit the logic of how the algorithms can be created here. integrating offline ratings of the business with the search engines. So offline ratings of the businesses. When we say the offline rating, as you know, it's not online at all. It's like, it's not directly at the web, but let's say there are certain types of magazines or certain types of other metrics that actually show that you are the quality, because Google is able to track you directly with your phone. And let's say you are reviewing somewhere, but you are not visiting the place. There is no foot traffic, but you write the review. Let's say there is somewhere there that you are reviewing, but it's your first review for these type of businesses. You didn't review the others, and you just say that this is the best one. How do you know? Or let's say the foot traffic to the brand store and also the direct brand search, they increase together, but there is no news. So it means that news are not determined to understand this specific brand. They should be looking somewhere else, maybe Twitter. When it comes to Google, you should understand the context here, okay? Let me show you. The first name that Google actually planned to have is, it's Plex. And the name of the Google is actually not Google. It is Gogol, okay? This is an important detail, because Gogol was a mathematician that found the concept of actually Plex, or let's say Google matrix. The Google is something that always actually expands itself all time long. In other words, Google is created actually for covering anything that can be used, or that can be mentioned, or that can be explained, or that can be done. As you know, in the old times, at the bottom of this pagination, we don't have the pagination right now, I can show. But in the old times, when you go to the 10th page, these all count here, it was increasing. Google was expanding itself. If you check my YouTube channel, my latest videos, I am choosing the Google Plex location, the Plex, Gogol. So basically, offline business information, it matters too. One time, someone actually criticized me by studying that. Basically, you are telling me that if I want to rank for a cinema website or cinema topic, you tell me to win the Oscar. This is actually the purpose of the Google. They only want to rank you if you are really expert for the topic. And you have to show it from all the angles. And that's why SEO consultants today, they are actually business consultants and business analysts. So you should be taking these things in a serious way, because the search engines, if they focus on your business reputation and the business quality, SEO has to focus on there too. I didn't want to learn the Python at the beginning. I was a black at SEO pure way. So Google forced me to actually learn these things. So we have to change with the Google together by leaving some old methods or the understanding. So that's why this specific thing here, it's actually important. And when it comes to here, it is about determining the spam score, closed businesses, and the ranking signals. You already actually have seen something similar here from another source. This, as I can remember, this is also the continuation pattern. You can actually just check this specific section, and here you see how they define the things, everything, like the map elements. It might be a feature such as street segment or region of the geographic object, a park region, let's say, geographic boundaries such as city or country boundaries. These are important because according to that, these specific things will be appearing inside the queries. And it is also important for local SEO, because let's say this is a local region, this is another local region, and your business is just here. But you want to rank for here. You can't. Your address in this area, which means that they will be relating you to the queries in this area. They are not that much good at for calculating the distance from here when it comes to the zip codes. So this is also explaining how they define a map, how they construct their algorithms. The boundaries matter there, unfortunately. I have seen many examples there. That's why people try to open actual fake business profiles sometimes, and I can tell something negative there if it is a little bit justified. So when it comes to the here too, street level comprise images of objects at a geographic location. So basically they are getting the street level images or even geographic region level of images, and they are able to actually take these images and use them to compare to your local business location. There is even a language model, maybe I can show it you later, but Google is able to generate landscape, endless, enormous, universe-like landscapes. You can just imagine that you are designing a game or something or any kinds of city. They are able to create automatically, they just create a new landscape all the time when you move further. I can show you this research paper maybe later, but my point here is that when you scan all word, it's not that hard after a point to train an AI to create another one. So my point here is that they can actually take an image from the street and they can compare the local relevance of that image to your area. Actually, I have written this in Turkish, but I didn't translate. But basically, visual street queries, the queries that actually you are using by taking photographs with your Google Maps, they are used in that way too. You are in a place, you open your camera, then Google tells you which way you should be going by looking at the signs of the stores. Then they locate where you are. Then they actually understand where you want to go, and then they are showing you the arrows. Maybe I can show you these type of things later too, but Google Map, let's say street visual queries. Maybe I can find query and visual look. No, this is different. Right. I actually have written this in Turkish in Content Cloud website, but maybe I can define it later. They also give these things by saying Google Map, let's say immersive arrow directions. Maybe you know already what I mean, or maybe like this. You open it, just tell you that where it is, where you are, by just looking at actually the similarity of these locations to the next one. And even if you, and as I said, they also have AI models to create fake cities, fake places as well. So if we continue to here, selecting content based on social significance. So this is about Google too, but I can tell you that your social media existence is important. If you claim that you are actually an expert for a topic, you should be also ranked by the social media platforms for these specific hashtags or these specific areas. When I say that actually holistic SEO is about ranking you in every search engine for every vertical with any kinds of possible method, I don't put a limitation there. And this is what actually this specific patent or the research paper that they focus on. They try to understand how important you are for a certain topic based on your social existence on that area or on that, let's say, section, like receiving content items that are publishable to an activity stream in social networking application for a user in a social network. It doesn't mean that they try to actually design a social network for themselves. It also means that they are trying to understand social media too. As I say, these are the years that social media existence or engagement used heavily for ranking purposes, and they changed it. Even a few times, Matt Cass actually told it in his videos. He told that how we can use Twitter links to understand a person's expertise, because he was upset. He's a really fair guy. I guess it happens because he was fighting against the spam. Then I believe then he felt the need of justice in a really good way, because he was really trying to be helpful to the website owners and also the SEOs, and while trying to fight against the spam. So that's why I really like him. I respect him. And when it comes to that specific sample there, samples like this, or using Twitter links in that area, he didn't need to tell it, but he also tried to tell that he tries to understand who is real expert for the topic by looking at the social media existence. It was one of the ways for them to understand these things. Anyway, image quality measures. This is important because quality of the image also reflect your quality in terms of the brand. And lately, thanks to MOM algorithm, we all talk about the importance of the visual quality and also the uniqueness of these images. I will suggest you to check this specific pattern here too, how they can actually understand whether an image is quality or not. Select relevant images for the queries. Select a set of training images for training an image classification model to understand whether it is quality or not. Select a training image from the set of the training images. Classify the selected training image based on training quality score for the image. Is the training image properly classified? Yes or no? According to that, properly they will be actually iterate the methodology based on the proper metrics again. And then they will be creating a kind of classification model here. And there are some possibilities or some possible metrics actually they can be using here. The feature vector here actually means even extension of image, URL of the image, or objects inside the images. But since this is an early pattern, it's a little bit hard to talk about objects inside the images directly. But let's say an image quality score can be generated for an image based on a feature vector for the image, an image classification model for determining whether an image is a high quality or low quality image. The image quality score for images can be used to identify the resource quality score. So resource quality score is the owner of the image that represents the quality measure of the resource based on the quality of the images presented on the resource. A query-specific quality score can be computed based on the transformation factor that represents the measure of the importance of the image quality for determining relevance of the image to the query. So let's say this specific image is quality and relevant to query, but image might not be important inside your web page as well, and it is a problem too. So your headline representative image for that specific page, let's say it is important to show your overall quality there. And specific pattern system here, they explain these quality measures or visual quality in these sections even further. And I will suggest you to check it a little bit if you can. Scoring authors of posts. I guess I didn't include this inside my Google Author Rank research. I can do it in the future. But this one here, it is relevant to the social media, at the same time user feedbacks, at the same time finding experts for really good topics. You can see this reply, comment, activity backend, or comments again, author rank here, post content is here. These are good metrics, and as you see, this is crowdsourcing. As you see, we have seen it somewhere here, crowdsourcing, and choosing the, selecting the content items was one of the parts, and highly ranked activity feeds, subscribed users, activity statistics. And lately for affiliate marketing, we are talking about the importance of having a YouTube channel. Even your YouTube channel, if it is connected to your website via entity-oriented search, quality of the YouTube channel also affects actually the quality of your website as well. If you just link your YouTube channel and also your website from the relevant documents, it will be helpful too. Ranking blog documents. This is important because blog documents or blog links, they are important to understand who is really quality. So if you want to show your authority for B2B marketing, if you're able to take some links from the amateurs, it will be helpful for you as well. And here you can understand based on the documents in this area, which one actually is, let's say, more, let's say, quality at the same time. Of course, there are too many mentions of the word quality and the quality score here, but let's say positive indicators for negative indicators, or let's say you can try to understand in this area what are the positive and the negative indicators for the specific query. And you can see the word topical relevance of the blog, the terms in the search query, and the quality of the blog or blog post, which is independent of the query terms. Query independent and query dependent ranking algorithms, there are two different models there. But if you read these things, it will be useful for you, because I'm not here to read these things for you. But I am here to share these things with you so that we can start to get a little bit our own efforts for understanding these things. But this is one of the good documents that you can actually understand there. So when it comes to quality score, Google also has a documentation for the advertisers, because as you know, in Google Ads, we already have the quality score. And if your page is not relevant to the query, they actually charge you more money so that they can gain more money, and you can also be more quality for the user, I hope. And here they understand, review your quality score components, expected click-through rate. So if the user doesn't click to your ads anymore, let's say, it means that you are not quality. Ad relevance, as you see here, topical relevance. Okay, these are aligning things, as you see. And the next step is just understanding the relevance model of Google. Then once you get that model, you can also understand, let's say, the quick tips or some hacks to improve your relevance even further. Or you can also understand your hardware computational limitations as well. Landing page experience, how relevant and useful your landing page is to people who click your ad. These components can help you to see whether the ad update your ad text, keyword selection, or landing page content. And you can even use these things actually for reverse engineering their own methodologies. You can just open a Google Ads, let's say, account, and you can check what kinds of quality score you have for these type of keywords. You can change your keyword and you can check how the quality score changes. And if you have a big company, you should be getting these things already from your advertiser, but you can also increase your overall relevance too. Just as a signal, the Google Ads team and organic search team, they are really distinct, and the search team doesn't share that much information for ads, but they help for these type of tools, let's say. And below average, these are the metrics that they are used, and how to improve the CTR, let's say. They also give some explanations here by giving some words, buy, sell, order, browse, find, sign up, try, get a code, etc. being more specific, let's say, and you can use this thing also for your title context too. Anyway, now we are coming to some suggestions from my end. As I say, Google Auto Rank already explained in my YouTube channel. Please check this document. You will be getting many beneficial data there. You can check this specific video too to understand the keyword difficulty and the quality thresholds for predictive ranking of the search engines. And there is a case study here, and people like this. And the actual metric here is higher right now, 100,000. And I believe you would like actually this specific case study a lot. Probably in the course, I will be explaining this website, even if it loses this traffic. I will explain how I was able to create this jump against the WebMD, Healthline, or Medical Web News Today, etc. And then I can also share the videos of how I revise the content there, etc. When it comes to here, this is about search engine trust and historical data. I mentioned these things at the beginning of the video because I knew that this was supposed to be a long video. And here we also have one more historical data and case study for that. Here I explain actually without publishing new content how this specific, I'm sorry. This is actually, do you like this video? This gives like over maybe 100 practical SEO tips for technical SEO and also semantics directly by telling you to do this. So if you don't like the theoretical section of my channel, you can check this. Because from my end, it is a little bit hard to satisfy people have 10 years of SEO experience and also 6 months of experience at the same time. Now, people that like actual affiliate marketing and people that like semantic web, we are all different from each other. And lately, I realized that anyone who likes deep SEO come to my channel from different backgrounds. So I'm trying to satisfy everyone as much as I can by creating different types of videos. So you can check these too. My last suggestion to you is, if you are in the B2B marketing and B2B SEO for different industries, go to YouTube, because in YouTube you will see many different types of content in a visual way that don't exist inside the Google articles or Google pages. Because in YouTube you are able to see the product directly, how it works, what kinds of a voice or noise it makes, what kinds of a texture it has, or how this person actually explains it, what kinds of product involves it, and in where and why, and how this thing actually can be done better, how many types of this thing appears, why we have these holes here, or why this thing is black. And once you get all these things, you can ask these questions inside your content too. It doesn't have to become from directly the queries. And here you already have a brand. Google is already able to actually recognize these things from these type of frames by clicking them. And they're able to take the text of the video anyway. So they can also understand these products based on this. As you see, it is soft. Why it is soft? It is soft, but also it is solid. And it is used for actually safety. And this is also here too. You can even check the reviews or the descriptions to get these quick points of about these products. Here too, for example, a different part, 3D printing, filaments. And here they explain these things. What are the parts of that? What are the materials for that? What kinds of things actually are used for that and why exactly? So if you read and listen these things, it will be really helpful for you to get expertise of the topic, because without getting expertise for the topic, you can't create the, let's say, topical map for that specific topic. So we have came to the end of the video. As I say, I wanted to explain these 3 websites quickly. But at the end, as I also said, I will be giving some quick tips for topical maps of these specific brands. So let me create this section. And right now, actually, I am writing a case study about how to expand topical maps for existing websites without making them actually lose the traffic. In this case, let's say this is the 3D printing website. The first thing that you will need to be getting is actually similar things, alternative things, and also, let's say, origin of the things. So in this case, you can directly search these specific attributes for anything similar and at the same time origin. When you go to the origin, you will be getting a background story there. When you go to the similar one, you will get actually site context, I can tell. When you go to the alternative, it won't be that much site. It is more actual distant context, which means that actually you will need to open a new section there. When you go to the similar one, it means that the query templates actually will be highly similar too. If I go to this area, let's say I am talking about here, 3D printing materials, let's say 3D printing material. And in this case, we will be having many different types of materials inside this section. Let's say nylon. Then you can use these specific things for nylon. Let's say here we also have X. Then you can use these qualifiers also for X and get their queries too. The next step is that you will need to calculate the distance from X to the actual 3D printing process, not to the material. And once you go to the 3D printing, you will need to get the attributes of the 3D printing, then you will need to connect them back to this area. So inside the course, you will realize that it's not that easy, because you will, as I say, during the beta testing, both of the beta testers, they told me that you are doing in a really good way, but just stop a second and explain me what this comes after this, because apparently I have a thought stream since I do these things for many years. By reading all these papers, it's like a little bit reflex for me. But then whenever they stop me and whenever they make me explain these things, then I realize that there are many steps that actually I am doing inside my mind. So that's why I needed these beta testings, and I need to clean many unnecessary sections. For instance, in the first beta testing, I explained the concept of processed topical map, and topical map that consists of just from the context terms, and it was complicated for the first one. Then for the second beta test, I removed it completely. So in the course, it will be around 5-6 hours is my purpose, and I'm trying to put 55 hours inside that, and it's coming soon because beta testing is already ended. Even in a single weekend, I can create all these things, I can tell that. So one more thing is that we will be a community there. So according to your requests, according to your questions and the needs, new modules, of course, they will be coming. I will be keeping the course and the community active as much as possible. Because Semantic SEO, it gives an opportunity to all of us to be able to actually rank without spending really big budgets, to rank for the topics that we really love and we are really expert on. It also helps us to think more healthy ways, or think in a better way, more efficient way. It also helps us to create better, honest businesses. I'm not against the links, you already know that. But since anyone can buy the links, let's try to get real expertise about our businesses. And I know that many people from other countries, India, Pakistan, or Turkey, my country, we deserve also a kind of, let's say, equal competition possibility there. And it will be really good for you too. So we came to the end, not 2 hours this time, and I guess I have protected my energy better, maybe because I consumed some coffee. So if you came to this long, and if you watched this video, it means a lot to me, and you can always put your questions to the comment section. I will be always answering them. Thank you for listening to me, and take care of yourself. Namaste.